What's going on here? Okay. There we go. Hi, you guys. I'll wait till a few more people come and then I'll explain this random shenanigans. I'm just sitting with Kirk, so I don't know what time it is in the other parts of the world. Maybe it's not a good time to watch. Hi, Celeste. How are you? Kirk's like, who are you talking to? Hi, Eddie. Oh, wow. Hi, you guys. All these names just popped up. So, hello, everybody. Welcome. I was I was on a roll saying everyone's name, but you guys all popped up at the same time. So, welcome, everybody, from me and Kirk. So, wow, welcome, everyone. Today's video is very different. It's just off the cuff. There's just a few things that I wanted to chat with you guys about and maybe just catch up for a little bit. How are you guys? Oh, 7:45 p.m. That's pretty good, Shay. Not too late. 4:46 in Los Angeles. That's awesome. So this is actually a good time then. Wow, okay. I think it's still really early. Oh, wow. There you go, Portugal. It's just after midnight. Oh, hello everyone. I just saw Lower Blue Mountains. Hi. Hi from Boston. Wow. Look at us all representing Alabama, Houston, Texas. Love it. I'm a bit impartial to Megan Thee Stallion and Beyonce, naturally. Wow. Hi everyone. Oh my gosh. Canada, New York, Japan. Wow. So I think I should probably start doing things. Today's video is very different. So obviously it's not filmed, it's not rehearsed. I was in a bit of a role, if you haven't noticed. Like I was producing maybe 3 videos a week for a while there, and then things kind of slowed down a little bit. So I did just want to catch up today and talk to you guys about, I guess, just whatever's on my mind and to talk to you as well. So, Kirky, what are you doing, sweets? Kirk's like, what are you, who are you talking to? Oh my gosh, crazy. So I am doing my makeup. I thought we'd just have a chat. Oh, you're doing your makeup as well? I love that, Ray. I don't do makeup often, if I'm honest with you. Like nowadays, I'm a natural skin kind of gal. I used to be hard out. Like I used to love all kinds of designs on my eyes. I used to wear crazy colors because I just love expressing myself through makeup. I find it like an art form, really. Good morning, you guys. Oh, Nick, you're in hospital. I hope you're well. Look after yourself. Sending you so much love. Yeah, I don't know. I see makeup as like a form of expression, if I'm honest with you. I should probably put a primer on though, speaking of clean skin. Um, but the reason I'm doing makeup today is because one of the things that I wanted to talk about is looking after yourself. I feel like we always talk about that on my channel. When I'm channeling, I'm all in there, like what's the word? Swimwear, all in there like swimwear, talking about like looking after yourself. And then um, I get so in the rhythm of it that I sometimes forget to do it for myself. So the main reason why I'm doing makeup today and the main reason why I'm sharing it with you is as a little reminder to myself, I guess, to start putting more energy and effort into looking after myself. And speaking of that, I did want to talk about um, the channel as well. So you guys know, I don't know if you do know actually, but the main reason that I started the channel was that it was always me with my guides. It was always me following my spiritual journey. If before I did anything, I would always consult like my spiritual team. I'd meditate on it, I'd pray on it, and before I'd do anything, that would be my process. And it took off really quickly. Very grateful for it. But I think my ambitiously Capricornian side just got very carried away with the schedules of everything and keeping up to date with everything and wanting to do everything as well. Like I am someone who's always had dreams and plans, but when somebody gives you the opportunity to do it, I guess for me personally, I just got very into wanting to do it without realizing, like, hey, Lorraine, you're only human. Like, you got to slow down. You got to calm down. So what I really wanted to talk about is that I want to ease back on the pick a card readings for two reasons. I see this as twofold. I'm not going to be on here doing makeup though. This is just a catch up and saying hello. Um, but this is twofold. What I'm planning on doing in June is I want to do one significant reading a week. This significant reading is going to have a lot of time and energy put into it. It's going to be using this new LED ring light that I've just purchased, which I'm pretty excited about. I really want to put energy into it. I want there to be like a little meditation at the beginning of the videos where it's like guided meditation. It gives you an option to sort of tune out and connect. And I want there to be less like mass production, which is what it was turning into, me just trying to push out 3 videos a week, you know, for the sake of us getting guidance, when it's really, for me, and I've always said this to everybody, so I don't know why it changed, but the quality over quantity. And I think also we don't want to get to the point where we're all using tarot readings as a crutch as well, which is something that you have the luxury of doing when you do personal readings as a reader. You can always say to people like, hey, I think you're getting a bit too dependent on these readings now. Maybe we should dial back our business together. So I really wanted to share that idea with you guys. And what that would be able to do as well is it would free me up to be able to be more available once I can do personal readings again, which is the other reason why I'm here as well. I know it can, Ella, it can be so addictive. And you guys, I have a very addictive personality, so I went from being addicted to watching tarot readings to addicted to making tarot readings. Like, what? That's crazy. How do you flip the switch like that? That's so crazy. So yeah, and I've received so much guidance from other beautiful readers in this community. And just for my own guides, that June for me is supposed to be a slow month. I'm supposed to take time out to look after myself first, to be able to deal with the minor setbacks as well, which leads me to personal readings. So this is what I wanted to talk about. How many of us are there now? That's good. This is the perfect time to talk about personal readings. So I really get a lot out of personal readings. I do love them. They're just very energetically demanding. A lot of readers will tell you the same thing as well. I'm sorry about the weird angle, by the way, you guys. Maybe I can move is that a little bit better? Personal readings are a beautiful opportunity for a reader to really connect with someone, and if you are intuitive, you get a lot more out of it. Like for me personally, I get a lot of satisfaction out of doing personal readings because I am just as curious as you when we go into a reading. I really want the answers. I go into it thinking like, let's get as specific as possible. And I really want to get out of it feeling like we've both kind of gotten the answers that we need. I feel like tarot should always be a resource to seek clarity and guidance and support. And when it does become a crutch, it can do the opposite. It can stray us from our trust and our inner voice, and it can start to become something that we are dependent on instead of something that we use to validate what we already know, or at least to confirm what we already know. So I always saw my beautiful channel and our beautiful community as an opportunity for us to really connect. But I think with everything that's happened, like who knew that COVID was going to last this long, you know? Who knew that it was going, oh, happy Pride Month. Wow, I didn't realize. That's amazing. Oh, I gotta be more onto it. That's crazy. How are we at Pride Month already? Yeah, but coming back to it, it shouldn't be a crutch. And I love pick-a cards, don't get me wrong. I love to go into pick-a cards telling myself that it's just going to be an entertainment reading, you know, it's just for entertainment purposes only. I love to go in and lie to myself and tell myself that I'm not going to take it seriously, like whatever I hear, even though that's like the third pick-a card reading that I've watched for the month. I love to lie to myself like that, but the truth is, it does matter. Like, I take that stuff on board, and I know that a lot of you do as well, because I do get messages from you guys very concerned after you watch some of my readings. And if the message varies from what you've heard from another reader, there's a lot of emotional concern there. There's this fear of, well, what do I trust? Who do I trust? What's real? What isn't? So I really want to dial it back to one pick a card a week on YouTube. I'll be doing my fortnightly guidance readings on Patreon, and there will still be the extended or exclusive readings on Patreon. But what this should do is it'll give me more time to be able to connect with you guys. Once my internet's up and running again, I'll actually be able to offer personal readings. So I feel like I went on a million tangents, but this was all leading to the personal readings business. Oh, Andrea, Kirk is very well. He's grumpy as hell. I'll give you a Kirk update soon. We'll do one thing at a time while I remember it. We'll keep going. I'll keep talking about the personal readings quickly, and then we'll do a Kirk message as well. Sorry, you guys, I'm just trying to set under my eyes. I'm 26 this year, and I feel like in some ways I look younger than I feel, but I'm still getting bags under my eyes, so we're just, yeah. And also, I'm not a professional makeup artist, so this is just what I do. I don't think it's right, but it's what feels good on my skin. So, and I also have very oily skin, so I just try to target those areas with the powder. So coming back to personal readings, before we go down another tangent, me and my tangents, I really want to be able to do them. The only reason I can't do them right now is because, oh God, how long ago was that now? 3 weeks ago, I just moved into this place. I think I've been in here for about a month. And when I moved in, I was told that they were going to do like minor repair work to the property. The owner had apparently lived here for a while, or it just hadn't been rented out in a while. There were like little things that they had to do to the property. So I was aware of it, but I wasn't aware that it was like external stuff. I thought it was just in the house, like cosmetic things, replace that door type of thing, you know, like replace that part of the flooring that's a little bit scuffed or worn in. I was expecting like that sort of stuff. But instead what happened was they did a lot of cosmetic repairs around the like gutters of the house, and around the gutters of the house where that repair work was done is where my internet cable runs as well. So on the day that they came to do that, it took a day and a half. The first day I thought it was a temporary fault, like I didn't think anything of it. I thought it was just a little glitch in the matrix, me and the matrix. I didn't think that it was a permanent issue. So he went to lunch and I was like, you guys, I have no internet, like what's going on? And at first, me and my introverted ways, I didn't like address it with them. I was just like, oh, it's probably just a temporary issue. It wasn't. The next day they came to finish the job and the internet was well and truly gone. So I was like, oh my days, like what am I supposed to do? My whole my whole life is online. And that was the first big sign from Spirit saying, you need to slow down. Like you're doing the most out here, you're overworking yourself, you're overcommitting yourself, you're only one person, slow down. That was the first big sign. And so I was like, okay, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I'm a very productive person when I want to be. I can also be very good at procrastinating. Yes, Mercury retrograde, 100% Maria, thank you. But what happened was, called the internet company. There's actually major issues going on in Australia with internet in general. When they upgraded our internet as a beautiful nation, they neglected to do it properly. So they switched from copper to fiber, but instead of replacing the copper in the households, or at least to the premises, they were just replacing the copper in the streets. So you could have like an amazing internet connection on your street, but as soon as it hits your premises, it's dampened and the bit rate goes down by like half of what you should be receiving. So across Australia, they're replacing all of the wiring. I'm like a expert now on the NBN in Australia. And this house is one of them. So it was a good excuse for them to address the issue with multiple properties in the street. And for me, that means that I won't have internet until at least the third week of June. So I was planning on doing personal readings in May. I was planning on having those personal readings ready by May 18th was the date I had in my head. And I had it all ready on my website. I had those 3 readings ready. I had the reading packages ready, the digital files ready to download, like to let you guys know what's the process for your readings, what you can expect in terms of like turnaround days. All of that was ready to go. And then the internet went and I was like, you are joking. So clearly not a subtle sign. Mercury retrograde is coming, but did you see Kirk? I didn't realize he was there. Yes, he does that a lot. He does that a lot. He just creeps up on me. I think he's confused because if somebody was in the house, he would sit between us. Like if you were here and you were sitting here, he would sit here and stare at you. He's very possessive towards me. So the fact that nobody's actually here, he's like, who are you talking to? Oh my gosh. But yeah, so that's what happened with my internet. And the only way that I said to Spirit, like the only way that I can do personal readings is if I have a peaceful home and if I have a stable internet connection. And Spirit gave me a peaceful home and took away my internet connection. So that's where we're at. Sorry, I just got to do this contour real quick. Oh, it looks so much better on camera than here. Do you want some too, sir? I'll just do this side and then we'll keep talking. I have a feeling this is going to look very crazy in real life because I'm using this crazy LED ring light. I always do my jaw as well. I don't know if you guys do. Does anybody else do their jaw? Oh, so that was the question. What's your advice on reading playing cards? Oh, I love that. I love reading playing cards. Yo, they are the best. I always have a pair with me too. One right here. They are the best quick go-to guidance card pack. Like, and they're only $2. Like you can get them for 99 cents at the dollar store sometimes. So playing cards, my method is I choose, okay, so is everybody listening? Because this is easy. You guys, anybody can do this. For playing cards, if we're just looking at the suits, okay, diamonds is pentacles, wands are clubs, hearts is cups naturally, and spades are swords. So you have your kings, your queens. The jacks I look at as knights. Some people prefer pages, I go knights. The jokers, I pick one joker as my full card and the other joker is my hanged man card to represent like that passive pause for intuition, whereas the fool's like a happy-go-lucky, let's do this, we're ready. So both, that's how I look at them. You can kind of, I talk about this on Patreon, you can swap out your joker cards for any other major arcana card really, or you could choose to look at them as pages, and depending on which way they fall, if they fall upright, maybe it's the page of pentacles, if they fall reversed, it's the page of swords. You could do it that way as well, but that's how I read playing cards. I think that's how a lot of others do it as well, but I also think that other people do different ways. Like obviously there's like the Lenormand way of reading as well, and oh my gosh, I would love to just deep dive into a book on how to read that way, because I watch people like Minopon Tarot who reads Lenormand, and also Jennifer, the intuitive empath. She does it as well sometimes, or she used to. I don't know if she does it anymore. A part of my self-care has been to stop. What's going on in my nose? Oh, I forgot I had this powder on there. Is that better? Kind of. Part of my self-care has been to stop watching so many tarot readings, because it's time to do for me. It's time to just rest and do, and to stop absorbing information that I already know is true. So, but yeah, that's how you read playing cards. That's how I read them. Is there any other questions you guys have about the personal readings as well, before we go on to Kirk? Thoughts on why you couldn't get someone off your mind for so long? You guys, I have been on both sides of this. This is just my personal thoughts, so take it with a grain of salt. Spirit isn't here to confirm through cards. I've been on both sides of this. I've been the person who can't forget about someone, and I've also been the person who somebody couldn't forget about. And it was horrible on both accounts because I was ready to move forward and my ex-partner was not. Like I was, oh my gosh, this is so choppy. Now that I'm looking at it in person, girl, we have to go back to square one. Uh, I don't know if I'm gonna leave the house like this. I feel like after this live stream, I'm just I'm just gonna wash it all off. Oh, I gotta stop laughing. Look at my eyes. Okay, okay. How am I supposed to do my eye makeup? I'm crying with laughter over here. Okay, what were we saying? Forgetting people. So it's difficult on both sides, especially if you are a human being who has feelings and you've got that natural, you know, empathy, that natural empathy. When I separated from my ex-partner, I moved on a lot quicker than he did. Like I was like, because I'm the kind of person, and you know, some of you may relate. I put everything in. When I'm in, I'm all in. When I'm out, I'm all out. Like I don't leave until I know, like, okay, it's time to leave. And that's not just with relationships. Like that's with everything. That's even with Kirky. Bless. We drive each other crazy, you guys. Like literally. You see it this much in the videos. Kirk and I drive each other crazy. So I'm all in and I'm all out. And that was what happened in the past. And I experienced it that way first. I was the one who my ex could not get over. And I spent a lot of time, I even tried like finding old items of his that I'd accidentally taken with me, and I tried like burning them in the woods. This sounds crazy. All the signs was there, like all the signs were there years ago. That I was a little bit different. But yeah, no, I tried burning all his items, and I tried like doing releasing, what do you call them, like affirmations, like saying like, listen, spirit guides, ancient angels and ancestors, please help this person move forward, so that I can move forward as well. I don't know why we're still connected. And the truth was, I see this now with hindsight. I didn't see this at the time. At the time, I was just like, gosh, why are you so obsessed with me? And I was still very immature as well, I want to say. I was still very immature. I still needed to figure out myself and go within. I was doing work externally. Excuse me, I should probably mute that. I was doing a lot of external work. I wasn't focusing on my internal self. And in the process of doing that, I was neglecting the biggest lessons that life had to teach me. So I can see with hindsight that the main reason that we were still tethered together, that he was still chasing me when we had tied up all of our karmic ends, really, when it comes to our relationship. It had run its course. I was moving forward. He was moving forward. It's not like one of us had our lives on hold. We were living in different countries. The main reason that we couldn't move forward is because he and that relationship still had so much to teach me. And there was so much that had happened. Like we'd been together for a very long time. We'd grown up in many ways together, and he was one of the only people in my life for a very long time. So instead of processing all of that, I was like a typical Capricorn out of a relationship, focused on my career, focused on my health, focused on the glow up, focused on connecting on a more physical level with family members, but not really deep diving into what had brought me to that situation, not really deep diving into where I'd been and what I'd been through as well. And I kind of suppressed all of that for a very long time. It wasn't until I met my twin flame and the person who was a catalyst to all of this that I was able to go way back and work through every relationship that I'd had from an infant. Like I'm talking my birth father, who I'd only known for like 6 months before he left my life, you know. Even his presence had a profound impact on my whole existence as a being. So working my way through, I realized that the main reason that he was still chasing me was because there was a part of our relationship that I had neglected within me. There was a part of what we'd been through that I had emotionally stunted. I'd just cut it off and said, nah, we're not going to go there. I'm not interested anymore. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to know about it. I'm moving forward. You should too. But actually, there was a lot more healing that needed to be done. And cutting it off like that wasn't actually helpful for me. It didn't help me process what we had been through, and it didn't help me understand why it had to end. Because obviously, the best thing that you can do to start a better relationship with yourself and with your next romantic partner, or with anybody who you choose to share your life with, is to go over your other relationships and process what kind of led to that separation in the first place. Well, next time I prefer this. Next time I'm going to see the red flags, or next time I'm going to pay more attention to XYZ when it pops up, and I'm going to address my feelings when they pop up, and I'm going to be more vocal about my needs and wants in the relationship, etc., etc. So I experienced that from that end, and then I experienced it from the other end as well. I was also the person who was not able to get over. I was the chaser, I guess you could say. So I think that what that experience taught me, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not a chaser. I'm the last person who chases somebody. I'm literally like, listen, if you want me, you gotta be here. Otherwise, I'll keep going. Like, I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna slow down. So, what chasing taught me was that, first of all, sometimes things need to change. Sometimes you can't just be the one who's afraid of intimacy and afraid of abandonment, so you run. Sometimes you have to actually stand and try to understand why something means so much to you, especially if you don't have a strong connection to that person. Like, in the way that I experienced it, we hardly knew each other. We just had that spark, we just connected. There was something about the way that we vibed together. You guys will know. If you know, you know. And I think that what that whole experience told me, the main reason that I found it so difficult to forget that person, was because they were the catalyst for my dark night of the soul. They were the catalyst for my, I would say at this point in my life, like, touch wood, I hope I live a long life, the most significant spiritual awakening that I've ever experienced. This person was literally like the magnesium catalyst to my fantastical fluorescent fire. And I think that if I were to forget them so easily, I wouldn't have delved deeper into myself. I wouldn't have done my shadow work. I wouldn't have gone into the Hermit Tarot as a as a hobby, let alone as what it is today. You know, I wouldn't have connected with you guys. I wouldn't have been able to push my limits. I wouldn't have been curious about, why can't I forget this person? Let me see what my tarot cards say. Like, and then it led into all of this. I think that not letting go of that person really helped me optimistically. When I was pessimistic, I was mad as hell. I'm going to be honest with you. I was like, why me? Why can't I forget this person? This is a very optimistic way of looking at this situation. And it wasn't the truth for most of the time as well. Like, optimistically, on my good days, I'm able to, well, that's where I'm at now, I'd say. I'm able to look back and sort of see that moment as an obsession that led to many, many, many creations. And once the attention was turned from, why can't I forget this person, to, well, what impact has this person had on my life, I was able to embrace more. So I was able to look at my life in a more positive way, if that makes sense. But on the pessimistic side, you guys will know, we're all here. On the pessimistic side, not being able to forget that person with my addicted personality turned into an obsession that was just like, why is this ruining me? So that's my input. I feel like we can't forget people sometimes because they are supposed to have an impact on us. They are supposed to help us with something that we need to see. And this person helped mirror things back to me that I saw in them, where I saw their potential and what they were doing and how amazing they are and how lucky I would be to be around them, let alone be with them. I was kind of eventually able to turn it back and go, well, actually, I have that within me too. I have that potential too. I have that love as well. And instead of, chasing for that love from someone who's clearly not available to give it, she's here, she's ready. Let's get it from her. She clearly wants it. So yeah, I think that's my stance on it. But I'm seeing a lot of questions here as well. Oh, Star. Yeah. And the thing about true counterparts too, Star, is that if they are meant to be a part of your life, you can't miss them. You can't. There may be that temporary separation phase, which temporary, some people are in separation for decades, but in hindsight, it is temporary, and it all leads to you becoming more in union with yourself, essentially. And I was one who read all the blogs about this and was like, okay, sure, that's corny, coming into union with yourself, okay. But now I can honestly tell you that. I can honestly tell you, like, being in separation with the person who I think is my counterpart has helped me come into union with myself. And I feel like if we were together, hell no. With my addictive personality and the passion between us, it wouldn't have worked. We would have driven each other into the ground instead of up the mountain. So I feel like that is another reason why it happens. That's just my personal, obviously you guys don't all have addictive personalities, so change it how you see it. I'm going with a brown eye look today as well. What were the other questions? This is a quest. And now I know how Bilbo Baggins felt. Girl, that is so true. I did not sign up for this. Now I know how Bilbo Baggins felt. Oh my god, stop. I can't cry when I'm doing my eyes. I don't have any tissues too. That is too funny. That is too funny. You need to patent that. That is so funny. Oh my gosh, so true. I'll just talk about Kirky as well, unless anybody else has a moon and rising sign. Are you talking about, wait, look at my eyes. Look at me trying to put makeup on these eyes. There is no way. It's just gonna leak straight down my face. Oh, whew. Okay. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Can you wipe my eyes, Kirk? I feel like this is just gonna come straight off after this live stream. This makeup is not gonna last the day. I don't usually wear makeup anyway, but oh, let me just, sorry, you guys have to see me poking my eyeballs. I know some people, it's a true phobia too. Some people really don't like when people touch eyeballs, because I do it all the time. So I happen to do that in front of people who don't like to see that. Let me do that instead. This is a time of a pandemic. I should not be touching my face, even though I'm in a controlled environment. Okay, what were we saying? Were we talking about Kirk? I think we were talking about Kirk. So Kirk is, well, you guys, Kirk actually has merch, but I want to be able to ship the merch myself. I know it looks brown, but that's because my coffee is cold. This is a color changing mug, and I shouldn't have showed it to you because that's a testament to how much I talk. I talk so much, my coffee goes cold. That's crazy. But yeah, Kirk is well. He is very old. So for those of you who aren't really familiar with Kirk, he is an old man cat. Literally, that's what the vet has written on his file. He's an old man cat. He is 16 years old this year in August. So I think we should do a little birthday cake, should we? I'm going to do a little, what do cats, it'll have to be a chicken gravy birthday cake. And I'll share a photo with the community so you guys, oh my gosh, this eye is so dark compared to that eye. Calm down, calm down. Yeah, so he is 16 in August. I adopted him in September last year, so we haven't actually known each other in this lifetime for very long, but he is definitely a soulmate, you guys. Like, he knew me before I knew him. As soon as he saw me at the shelter where I adopted him from, he was just like pour out, scratching, trying to get my attention, and we played that whole time. Like, we were not able to leave each other. I'm not really, if you haven't noticed, like, I'm the oldest of 7 kids, so I spent, and my mum was a single mother for like most of my childhood. I now have a very good relationship with my stepdad, but this isn't about that. But I don't really, because I spent a lot of my childhood like looking after children, I don't really want to spend my 20s doing the same thing. So like I always told people, like, I'm not having kids. I don't want like a dog. I don't want anything that's going to be too demanding of my attention. Like, just give me a cat, give me an old cat who like comes, doesn't want a bar of me, you know, like maybe that was me too, trying to not deal with my fear of abandonment. But when Kirk came into my life, I was like, okay, cool. This is an old cat. He's going to look after himself. He's just going to, you know, chill. He's just going to vibe. It's going to be so easy for me, and we'll just keep each other company. Nah, the complete opposite. He spent the first day under my bed, and I coaxed him out with chicken treats. That was the end of my, that was the start of my demise. chicken treats. To this day, cries every time at 5 o'clock for chicken treats. That's crazy. And that's just going to be his life, I feel. That's just going to be our life for the rest of his days. 5 p.m. treat time. So he ended up being the one person, I think the one creature on this earth who could unfreeze my cold Capricornian heart, and really reminded me that actually love comes in many different forms, and to try to say that you're all here for self-love and to not really be open to love from an animal, like, excuse me. Kirk keeps me humble. He keeps me open as well, like in terms of my heart space. I always get into this trauma response of like trying to just like back off, give me space, I just need space, chill. But actually that's the exact opposite of what I truly need. I want space because that's what I used to do, you know, whenever I felt overwhelmed. But really what I need is connection, and Kirk brings that. Kirk challenges that. Kirk's like, no, I'm gonna sit on your lap. I don't care if you're live streaming. I don't care if you need to do your makeup. I don't care if you need to drink coffee. I'm gonna be right there with you. So that's really beautiful. He's honestly, what am I gonna do next? He's honestly like the best thing that's happened to me during the pandemic. I would be, if I'm honest with you, like I'm very grateful for like material success, but it's nothing without love. It really is. And Kirk's like another facet to love that I just never thought was possible. It sounds so corny. I sound like I'm talking about our wedding night or something. It sounds so corny, but that's the truth. That is the truth. So he's okay. He's 16. He's got a bunch of health issues, but he pretends that he's more sick than he is too, if I'm honest with you. He pretends that he's more sick. I've taken him to the vet twice in the last 2 months because his yowling is just not normal. And we waited like 2 weeks to get test results back because he had to get bloods done. He's still got a little shaved part of his neck. Will he show you? Let's see. Will you show them your little shaved part? Look at that. His little shaved part of his neck. Oh, bless. You can't really see it. It is growing back. He's very embarrassed by it. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It's so embarrassing. I don't usually do that, but he loves it. He loves being held like a baby. I don't usually do it. I'm like, don't get used to it. I'm home today, but I might be at the gym this afternoon. Don't get used to it. Yeah, so we waited 2 weeks to get his blood test back, and I was really concerned. I'm like, listen, he cries all the time. He sounds like he's in pain. He's always done this though, so I don't know if it's just his personality or if he's genuinely sick. Like, can we get some bloods done? I took him there and he stressed himself out. His blood pressure was through the roof. She was so afraid that he was really, really sick. And everything led to like hypothyroid disease, renal kidney failure. Like, she was really worried, and I was worried too, but I'm looking at him like, are you tricking us? Are you fooling all of us? Like, we had a nurse in there, we had a vet in there. It was crazy. And so it took a 2-week time period for the results to come back. And in that period, I'm like, do I call? Why are they taking so long? Is something wrong? Like, does he have kidney cancer? What's going on? And I didn't want to like jump to conclusions without data. That's my logical side. So I just waited, and then finally yesterday I was like, no, I need to call them. It's been 2 weeks. She told me they would have the results in 2 days. Like, I gotta call. And I called her, and sure enough, she's like, he's actually very stable. He could live for another 5 years. Like, his health is actually really good. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why he's got high blood pressure and why he's technically losing weight, but he's actually very healthy. And so I was like, gosh, this lad, like, he's literally tricked everyone into thinking he's this sick old man, and he's actually got like a clean bill of health. Naturally at that age they do have like kidney issues, but he's so healthy. He's so healthy. When we first went in, she was like, he's probably only got 6 months to live. You need to come in like every 3 months. And then the second time she was like, no, he could live for like years. He's very healthy. I was just like, what the heck? Crazy. So that is Kirk, master manipulator. Since day one, he manipulated me into into adopting him. That was the best thing that's happened though. It's all from love, I guess. That sounds terribly Stockholm syndrome-y. Anyway, goodness. So that's Kirky, and he does have other merch. He's got some socks coming. There's mugs. I already said the mugs though. What else is there? Is that it, mister? Socks and mugs, I think. Yeah, I've just held that off because what I want to do differently with Kirk merch, what I did with Oh My Days merch and with my Hermit Crab t-shirts, um, I was drop shipping them. So I had a supplier in Australia and the US who would handle the production and shipping for me. It's very, very, very easy to do this nowadays. I was so shocked at how easy it is. And the main reason I did that was I didn't have space at my old house. I was sharing a house with my beloved brother, who's still very well. I'm sounding like he's not. Um, I shared space with him. It was his house that I was living in, and I just didn't physically have space to be able to keep the merch. I just had one room and we shared the living spaces, so I didn't have space to keep the merch. So I had a supplier in Australia and in the US who was like printing the t-shirts, um, the mugs, stickers, and I think I did phone cases as well. Oh, tote bags, of course, tote bags. Whereas this time around with Kirk's merch, now that I have space, I want to like bulk order it and be able to ship it myself so that y'all can get like a little personal touch and it's not coming straight from their warehouse. It has like my packaging and things. Jalissa, oh, have you guys seen her packaging? I'm so happy for her. I'm so, so happy for her. That packaging looks amazing. So I think somebody asked a little while ago who, yes, I agree. It is a lot of work. And the thing is, I'm at a point now where I want to be able to have like help as well. So I have a lot of family here that I live with that I want, that I could, I don't know if they want to, but I could reach out to them for support as well. It is a lot of work, but I think I could do it. I just kind of want it to be more personable. I feel like, you know, the bigger this community grows, I don't want it to lose that sense of connection. I feel like that's why I started it. That's why I started this channel, especially in the middle of the situation that we're all in. Sorry, Kirk's hair is all over my face. When I started this channel in the middle of the lockdowns here in Australia, I did it with the idea that it was a way of connecting with people. It was a way of offering clarity and guidance on a grander scale, because at that time I was offering personal readings for family, friends, and friends of friends. Um, and that's when I realized, wow, this distance thing really works. Like you can actually do a personal reading with someone without seeing them. And then I got into my obsession with pick a card readings, and that whole window was opened, and I realized that, like, wow, this is actually a whole community online. Like there's a whole community of people going through the same thing that I'm going through. How cool. And yet there's like a bit of sweetness there, because we're all in the comments like, what does that mean? Wait, when you said this, what does that mean? So I always wanted this to stay like that. Like I always wanted that connection, that idea of like, yeah, this channel is going to grow. I didn't expect it to grow this much, but I still don't want it to lose that sense of connection. And I feel like live streams is a good way of kind of bringing that connection back. But I also think that when it comes to me releasing products, it's quality over quantity again. I was very happy with the way that my other merch came through, especially the Oh My Days merch. Shout out to Alex, man. Alex Nicole in Canada. Oh, she's amazing. She's a beautiful soul. She's a part of our community, and she's just very professional. She handled that whole process so well. It just put me at ease. We were at a distance to one another. She was like up at midnight in Canada, and I'm there at like lunchtime in Australia, just finessing this. So I'm very happy with how that turned out. But yeah, in future, when it comes to the actual shipping, I'd love to be able to connect with each of you and be able to actually offer my own packaging, or at least have you guys know that it's coming from me and not from a warehouse in Illinois. So that's the deal with Kirk's merch. I feel like there was a question a little while. Does she have an IG account? She does. She's at Alex_Nicole_X. And she's done like a bunch of other projects since she's worked with me as well as before she worked with me. I was like so impressed with her portfolio, and then to actually meet her and see her as like just a genuinely beautiful soul, I was so impressed. She might even be in this chat. Anyway, this has been 44 minutes. Is there anything else you guys... Oh wait, there was a question about the name. Did somebody ask a question about the name of the Hermit Tarot? Any tips for starting a channel, or what other YouTube readers do you recommend? I'll talk about the tips quickly because It's very straightforward. I'm doing orange underneath as well for those who are here for the makeup. Um, I honestly, from the beginning, I made it about spirit. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't go into this expecting this beautiful community. I didn't expect this sort of success. I went into making my channel with the idea that it was about me exploring my spirituality further and really putting spirit. I was literally like, Jesus, take the wheel, you know? I was literally like, Spirit, take the wheel. Where are we going? What are we doing? And all signs pointed towards me starting a YouTube channel. I had a family friend who I read for recommend it first. And then I got into it and I realized that there was a beautiful sort of community on there, but I also realized that there was something else that I could bring to it, if that makes sense, without sounding rude. There weren't a lot of Australian readers that I found. There weren't a lot of Australian readers at that time. I think there's a lot more now, which I'm so happy about. And there wasn't a lot of people who were just there for the therapy of it all, if that makes sense. Like, I don't claim to be able to heal people or help people in that way. It's really much in your hands, but I wanted the community, my channel, when I created it, to be a safe space for people to just come to, connect to, and walk away feeling like they'd actually accomplished something positive. Like, either I was offering support, or I was offering answers, clarity, so that you could gain closure, or I was offering guidance so that you could kind of figure out, okay, that makes sense, I can move forward now. So that's always been the intention behind my channel. I always had that as like my agenda, and that was the main thing that I focused. So there's no real logistical, like, I spoke about this with a beautiful lady recently who's thinking of starting a channel. The more you overthink it, the less it becomes successful, because it's kind of not really something that you can, this sounds terrible because my whole career is built off predictions, but it's not really something that you can force to happen. You've just got to kind of set that intention and hope that that's what you're meant to do in a way. And I always kept my intention clear. I always made it about clarity, guidance, support, and I always went into it wanting it to be more than myself. That's why I spent so long away from the camera, because I didn't want you to feel like it was an intimidating space either. Like, I didn't want us to have to face each other and it became about my appearance and what is she wearing, what does her face look like today, what does her hair look like today. I wanted it to always be about you, the viewer. I wanted you to come in and see your cards and get your information, hopefully get your guidance, hopefully get your clarity and support, and be able to go on with your day. So I think that is the main tip that I could give you, is to just have really clear intentions from the beginning, whatever you're doing, especially if you're trying to really put yourself on a public audience or in a public platform. Make sure that whatever you do, it's with the intention of sharing love and light in some way, you know. Even if you're wanting to be a defense lawyer, at least, you know, set your intentions clear. Because you are what you attract what you are as well. So I'm very grateful that this turned out to be a lot more than I could have possibly conceived, because I trusted from the beginning. Now, I think the other question, what was the other question about? Kirk is staring at my new fish tank. He just realized there are fish in there. I've had that tank for 2.5 weeks, and he just realized 2 days ago that there are fish in there. I was like, what? What do you think I've been doing? I sit at that tank every morning and I just watch the fish. He must think I'm crazy. Maybe that's why he screams. He's screaming for help. Oh my gosh, I'm supposed to do mascara now, but I'm still laughing. Okay, why your name is the Hermit Tarot. Thank you, Orienta. I saw that. So the fish are tropical water fish, real quick. There's 2 neon blue gouramis, there's 5 striped danios, there's 5 cherry barbs, there's 2 panda corridoras, and there's 3 coolie loaches. We started with 4. It was a horrible, harrowing experience, but we've got 3 now. Yes. And they're all doing well, they're all happy. It's a beautiful big community tank. They seem to be loving each other and getting together. There's also a snail in there as well. There's a snail who, he wasn't bought, but he came anyway, and I kind of love that. Mad respects to somebody who can just show up with so much confidence. And he does a good job of cleaning the tank as well, so good on him. Now, in terms of the channel name, you guys, I shouldn't talk while I do this, sorry. I don't mean to scare you guys either. It's not painful, it's just tricky. Okay. In terms of the Hermit Tarot, I asked my deck, like when I say that all major decisions that I've made in this journey has come back to spirit, I literally mean all of them. The name of the channel was even on spirit. I was like, okay, I was a little bit stubborn, I've got to be honest with you. I was freshly awakened, freshly out of my dark night of the soul. I was very stubborn, and I was just like, okay, spirit, you want me to make a channel? What am I going to call this channel? And I literally just shuffled my cards and the Hermit card flew out, and I was so angry. I walked out of the room because I had spent 4 months of my life like as a hermit, recovering from my spiritual awakening, just like in my dark night of the soul moment, trying to get my peace, trying to do my shadow work. And I was just like, what? How dare you? I am not a hermit. And then I realized, yes, Lorraine, you are a hermit. I'm not a Virgo, but I am introverted as heck. Like when you first meet me, like now, I talk a lot. I have the Gemini rising, so first impressions are that I'm very chatty, that I'm very like sort of, what's the best word for it? I kind of flip between like talk about this, then talk about that, then talk about this. But if you know me for a long time, my Capricorn sun and my Taurus moon comes through strong. I love my loved ones and I'll do anything for them, but I'm a mad introvert. Like I just, especially with the pandemic, we're only going backwards. She spends a lot of time doing the same things, just chilling by herself, and I love that now. I was always comfortable with that, so I let my tarot deck choose the name of this channel. The Hermit card came out and I was kind of like, oh. And at that point, I feel like the Hermit card was underrated. I've got to be honest with you. Like, as a reader and people who do personal readings, you know the Hermit card has so much depth to it. Like, it has so much substance. It's a very significant part of the Fool's journey about gaining guidance. And traditionally speaking, in the Fool's journey, the Hermit is actually a figure. We look at that card as introspective and isolation, like somebody spending a lot of time by themselves. But in the Fool's journey, the Fool finds the Hermit and the Hermit leads the Fool. That's why they're carrying the lantern towards what they're looking for. The Hermit kind of is this guiding light and a very kind of slow moving character that helps the Fool get the answers that they want. So it's a big energy card. It's often overlooked, and I feel like it's very underestimated. It has a lot of depth to it. So it's one of my birth cards. Love that, TM. Yeah, I kind of wish I had Virgo placements, because it's a beautiful card. But you can have that within you without having that within you, if that makes sense. You can have that within your soul without having that written in the stars for you, if that makes sense. Do you guys have any other questions while I finish this? Naturally love the Hermit. Yeah. High five for Gemini placements. Yes. I think you guys, let's talk about Geminis real quick. Why do Geminis... Here he goes. You know what's worse too? All the signs were there. Whenever he makes that sound, he looks dead at me too. His eyes like that, and he's like, "Rah!" So all the signs were there. He's not sick. He's just got an attitude. Oh, I should have seen it from the beginning. That's what I did when I was a teenager to my mother. Please let me go out. All the signs are there. That's crazy. Oh, no, I'm just joking. I love my mum and I have so much respect for her. I would never look her dead in the eyes and say that. Oh my gosh. I would never have the audacity to do that to her. But Geminis, you guys, why do Geminis get such a bad rap? I have a lot of Geminis in my family, and I think if you're bruised by a Gemini, people take that with them to the grave. Like, I vibe well with Geminis because I come off as one, and then we kind of get to know each other better, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go back to work now. I'll see you in 3 months. That coffee is so cold, I shouldn't be drinking it. It's just made with soy milk, so it's not off, but it's very cold. That mug is supposed to be white, you guys. It's a heat-treated mug, so it turns white when it's hot, and it's brown now because it's very cold. But yeah, beautiful Geminis. Kirk is a Leo. He is a Leo. Geminis get a bad rep because Geminis reflect. Yes, did you guys know that? Geminis bounce off the energy in the room. So if a Gemini comes at you with aggression, it's because they are incredibly intuitive. They're taking your energy and flipping it back at you. And I've seen that. When I heard that, I immediately went to my cousin because she's a Gemini, and I just kind of watched her and I realized that's what she was doing. And when you're younger, I can imagine that it would be very confusing because if you're not aware of that, you would get blamed for a lot of stuff that isn't your fault. You would get blamed for like, why are you making me so angry? And it's like, I don't know, I'm not even angry. Like, what? So that's the deal with Gemini. So imagine having a Gemini moon. Does anybody here have a Gemini moon? Stumble over everything and not truly connect. Sometimes. 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 You are a Gemini moon. Interesting. Because I feel your moon is in Libra, Hope. Love that. That's so it's similar to me with my moon in Taurus. We're actually very sentimental people. Gemini moon. See, I feel like I don't know a heck of a lot about astrology, but I feel like a Gemini moon would just be next level because Geminis, as a sun sign, have this. Oh my gosh, my mascara is not working for me today. They are working for the big boss. It is not working. It's okay. It's probably not going to last long. She's going to be crying tears down of laughter, you guys, laughter, not sadness. Yeah, I feel like because Geminis reflect the energy around them, having a Gemini moon would kind of just, I feel like it would be very intense. I feel like this is someone who wouldn't rest until they know things, like when it comes to feelings, or maybe they would say one thing because they're feeling like you feel that way, but then they kind of bounce back and go, actually, do I feel that way? I feel like it would take a lot of talking with a Gemini moon person to really kind of know how they feel, because you wouldn't be able to lead them. You can't ask them leading questions. You can't be like, well, I'm really upset. How do you feel? Because they're going to turn around and go, I should be upset, but I'm not. I feel your energy. I feel you're angry, but I'm not angry either. Like, I'm kind of amused that you're angry, but I'm not. Why is that the case? So I feel like it would be I feel like it would be very, wow, opposite sun and moon people. Are there any opposite sun and moon people? Sagittarius moon, Aries sun, Capricorn rising. What a trio. Sagittarius moon, Aries sun, Capricorn rising. First of all, that's a lot of cardinal energy. And then to have your Sagittarius moon, oh my gosh, you are a force to be reckoned with. I feel I feel like that, wow, I don't know how that would work. In terms of having a Sagittarius moon, I've never thought of that. I've never thought of having a Sagittarius moon, what that would mean. Let me just spray my face because I think I need to commit to this, even though, do I want to commit to this? Do I? Or am I just going to rub it all off? I'm probably going to go to the gym later, so look at my little curlies. So I'm probably just going to rub it all off. But for the sake of this video, let's do the setting spray. Commit to it, sweet pea. You should see this in person. Like, it looks okay on camera, but in person, wowzers. Can you show? How can I show you love a Taurus moon? Is that what the question was? A Taurus moon. If you want to show love to someone who has a Taurus moon placement, I'm just speaking personally because I have a Taurus moon. We are, regardless of what our sun sign says, like my sun being Capricorn, especially with my personal experiences, I can come across as distant and removed, especially with my Gemini rising. I'm there like 1 minute laughing, next minute I'm like out the door because it's not my vibe. So the best way that you could show affection to a Taurus moon is to do something sentimental. It's like I'm speaking stereotypically here because I've only met three now in person Taurus moons. We have a sentimental streak. We have a side to us that really feeds off what you can do in terms of your skills. It's not really about the money, if I'm honest with you. Like, I would take a starry night experience with you over a 5-star restaurant deal with you any day. Even though technically being a Taurus moon, I suppose I'm supposed to love food. I'm here for the experience. I'm here for that connection, that sentimental value, creating memories. That's what I would say is a way to win. So creating those memories, creating that sentimental factor, not really focusing so much on the price tag, which sounds counterintuitive because everything you hear about Taurus people and with Taurus placements and Capricorn people with Capricorn placements is that we love expensive things and we love spending money. It's not the truth. It's not the truth. I would take connection over expansion any day. So that's what I would recommend. What do others Capricornians think about that? Would you agree if you've got Capricorn or Taurus placements? Quality time, quality. Somebody said quality time. What happens if you have the same moon as your person? I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's just about knowing the strengths and potential challenges of that placement. It's not a bad thing. If anything, you should be able to connect fairly well. You'll know, like, oh, I'm triggering them because if somebody asked me that, I would be triggered. That might be a leg up on the situation, having that insight. I'm just going to spray my face real quick because somebody told me to commit to this, so we're going to try. I shouldn't be talking. Oh gosh, that was terrible. I think this is nearly empty. Which kind of adds to my point that I'm probably not going to commit to this now. Oh my gosh. My partner has the same moon, Cap Sun, love that. Earth signs combos, yes. Does anybody struggle with that though? Does anybody have like hectic earth sign placements that they struggle with? I mean, this is the only life I've known. I think all my earth placements have confused me into being, I don't know, tell me if this is the case for you. So I am a very ambitious person. That's what I can say with being a Capricorn sun, 100%. I do it with the intention of exceeding expectations that were placed upon me. Like, I look at it from the lens of, like, I'm a minority. I'm living the life that my ancestors were not given the luxury to live. I'm here to make the most out of this lifetime while it's here and to set up my future generations so that they don't have to go through what I went through, what my parents went through, what my ancestors went through. Like, we're breaking barriers here. That's why I go towards the things that I feel called to do with so much tenacity. But on the flip side, my Taurus side is incredibly sentimental, and because I have this real strong connection to family, when I was younger, it led to me having loose boundaries. It led to me letting my family just kind of walk all over me. They're not toxic people, but we were in toxic cycles together. And it took us a lot of healing to be able to identify those cycles and to be able to see where someone was giving too much. Because I was so dedicated to my work, I would try to make up for that by spending a lot of money on family members, you know, or really breaking my back trying to do things that I really shouldn't have done. Like, I should have just chilled, I should have taken time off, I should have been more balanced. So what do other people feel? Like, if you have strong, is he back? I just saw the chat like, Kirk. He's like, who are you talking to? You're driving me insane. He's normally the loudest one in the house. He's jealous. But yeah, that's all I've noticed with strong earth placements is that my Capricorn sun is so determined to work to the bone in this lifetime to achieve things that other people in my family weren't able to. Whereas my Taurus moon is like, you got to make it up to them. Like, if you love someone, you got to show it. So I end up compensating for that by having loose boundaries. And I know that now. We've done a lot of healing as a family, as a community of loved ones. So I know that about myself now, but is that something that other people experience? A Taurus sun decide they want to live alone, repress all feelings? Oh, hell no, you guys. I would say no. I can't speak for every Taurus on this earth, but my brother is a Taurus with a Gemini moon. What's his rising? Do you remember what Alex's rising is? I can't remember what his rising sign is, but he hates being alone. He hates being alone. He goes through his, like we all do, our family, depression runs in the family. I've tried to avoid that word because YouTube censors videos that say it, but depression runs in our family. When he's in a low period, he'll kind of isolate himself, and we all know something's up, because when he's high, when he's happy, when he's himself, he can't be alone. He's always got to have people around him. He's always got to have connection, and he always makes it an experience too. Like, when I talk about never being alone, I talk about, like, he'll sit you down and you watch his favorite movie with him, that type of thing. So I personally wouldn't say that a Taurus sun would like to be alone. Libra sun, Capricorn moon, Taurus sun, a lot of Libra, Scorpio and Capricorn in my charts, and I have the same problems. Patricia, we're very similar. Cap sun, Taurus ascending, Aries moon, love being alone. Yeah, and I think that's what I failed to notice about myself as well, because I was compensating, because I felt like guilty, because I felt guilty for working so much. Um, I would spend so much free time with other people, even though I'm naturally an introverted person. So I was in burnout stage for a long time in my early 20s and my teens. Well, as soon as I got a job when I was 16, I was like, wow, this is what it's like to have money. What? I never spent it. I was just saving it, saving it, saving it. And then I moved to New Zealand. So yeah, I feel like I was always in burnout phase. I feel like I was always, can you guys, I forgot that I was an introvert. I was just always like, when I'm alone, I'm sleeping, or I'm just trying to cram in my favorite TV show. Crazy. So wild. Choose, will you choose your head or your heart? I always take time to make a decision because I am a very logical, objective person. I like to sit on the fence and look at things from both sides. And I do that even when it comes to my own decisions, which is my downfall, because you shouldn't think like that if it's about you. You shouldn't be able to sit there and go, oh, but this person's pretty sad. I'm going to sacrifice what I want because it's going to make them happy. I always like to take time. My objective nature makes me want to cave in to other people too easily. So I wait and I let that primary feeling experience itself, whether it's anger, whether it's sadness, whether it's guilt, whether it's shame. I just kind of sit with that first, wait till it dissipates, and then I go with what my heart is telling me, because my heart doesn't lie. It takes a little while sometimes. Sometimes people try to trick you when you're empathetic and when you're intuitive. People try to trick you and make you feel like you need to do something. So I never rush. If it's a big decision, I always take time. Taurus sun, Aries moon, Virgo rising. I love being around people and connecting with others. Yeah, you always do need that time to recharge, regardless of how extroverted you think you are. Gaming consoles. Oh, excuse me? D Taurus, how do you know? What games are you planning on playing on your console? How did you know? Who are you? I was shopping yesterday for a gaming console. Did we talk about this? I don't know if we did. This is crazy. You literally just... Did I? I did say it. Okay, thank you. So, yeah, I'm going to get a PlayStation 4. I even set up a Twitch account. I'm not going to be out here like a hardcore gamer, you guys. I set up a Twitch account just in case. I mentioned in one of my readings, yo, this is my Gemini rising betraying me again. I gotta calm myself down. I thought about getting a Nintendo Switch. My Twitch handle is just the Hermit Tarot, I'm pretty sure. I set it up last night. It's nothing crazy yet, it's just a blank space, but I do want to do live streams on there. That's the other thing about being able to dial back on YouTube. I feel like we'll be able to actually connect more, but we'll see. Look at me, I'm supposed to be not doing work and I'm out here creating more work. Oh my gosh. But yeah, I'm getting a PlayStation 4. I want to get Mortal Kombat 11 because, you guys, I grew up in the early 2000s when Tekken and Mortal Kombat was like coming back from the 80s and 90s. So I want to get that. I want to play Sims on there as well. I was watching Shanetta Divine's live stream of her playing Sims and I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't played Sims in years. I love it. So I want to get that because it's less violent. And then I also wanted to just kind of vibe with the PlayStation Store and see what piques my interest. I'm out here trying to get lots of hobbies at the moment. I do gardening, I have an old man cat to take care of, and I also have my aquarium. And now I was like, let me get back into gaming. It's been years. Hatsune Miku. Oh, okay. I shall. Will you let us know when you stream? Yes, I will. I think I will because I set up the account and, you know, I'm very stubborn once I do these things. Rhythm music game. Okay, thank you, VT. I'll keep that in mind because I think I need something like that in my life. Kingdom Hearts, Harry Potter, Lego. Yo, I can't go down that Lego tangent. I will never get out. I will never get out. There was something else, I think it was Justice League Lego, and I just looked at it and was like, oh. So I really can't get down that Lego trap. Can I play any instruments? Okay, I can. I haven't mastered anything. When I was a kid, I used to play clarinet. I was that band kid. I literally went on band camps. I was that kind of kid. I learned guitar, I learned keyboard, but I was mostly a vocalist. I used to love singing. Singing for me was like a form of escapism. I was always a dreamer, so yeah, I never mastered any of it though. You play the ukulele? Yes, that is me. How dare I forget my ukulele? Yeah, I've got like a little Makala ukulele. It's like a light blue color. I recorded that sound ages ago, and it was actually a song that I put lyrics over. But for the intro of the videos, I just use the ukulele because it's a lot more therapeutic than listening to someone sing. So yeah. Oh, thank you, Sarah. That's so sweet. Robert Tony. That's so cool. I would love to have learned how to play the piano. It's very different to keyboard. I feel like there's a lot more tone and depth that you could get. You can do a lot of wonderful things with technology, but piano just hit different. It's very classical. Love the intro. Oh, that's good. He's not purring, you guys. Kirk is sitting here just trying to figure out why the hell I'm talking to myself for so long. He is not purring. He's just sitting here like confused as hell. Like, who is she talking to? He's sitting here trying to like be possessive, but he's like, who am I being possessive of? Like, who else is here? Why is she doing this? You played violin for 2 years? Oh, no. You had no talent. It must be difficult. I was watching this lady last night and I'm just very impressed with anybody that can play hot cross buns on a violin, let alone a concerto. That's crazy. Very impressive. Yes, Sir is here. Sir is here. What are my cat's placements? I have no idea when Kirk was born. I only adopted him when he was older, so all I know is that he's a Leo sun, according to RSPCA. But I think RSPCA has a policy of whenever they adopt a cat, that becomes their birth date. So they must have adopted him in August, and that's why he's a Leo. I don't even know if he is a Leo, but that would, good ways. Love my Leos. My mother's a Leo. But if he is a Leo sun, that would say a lot about his attitude. He's probably a Taurus sun though, because the amount of food he consumes. Look at me out here roasting the signs. Okay. The recorder, yes, of course. The recorder was the first instrument for most people, I'm sure. How's the retrograde treating you? Actually, let's do a little check-in, shall we? I think I'm gonna go soon too because my makeup's done. I'm gonna go buy some plants and get a little bit of gardening therapy for my day. But yeah, what am I trying to say? The retrograde, I feel like it all started with that bloody Sagittarius blood moon. I don't know if anybody else was feeling it, but I was like, because in sidereal astrology or Vedic astrology, I'm actually a Sagittarius. So I always forget that, and every year the full moon in Sagittarius comes around, and I'm like, why am I feeling like this? Why am I feeling like this? I was taught or I was raised under tropical, so I adopted tropical astrology, but I got a Vedic chart for myself, and I was like, oh my gosh, it says I'm a Sagittarius, that makes so much sense. So it all started at the Sagittarius full moon for me. My emotions were just like, wow, that Tame Impala song, it feels like we only go backwards. I'm like, why am I thinking about this? Why do I feel this feeling that I felt when I was 16 years old again? Like, what's going on? Why am I crying at this beautiful... Like, I started watching The Good Doctor on Netflix, and I was crying at the operations. That's not even my family. And it wasn't even the times when it was bad things. It was, like, good things happening. Like, they had a successful operation, and I'm sitting there crying. Like, so happy that they pulled through, and I was like, what is going on? Why am I this emotional? Sure enough, the full moon. That's why in one of our videos I was like, what is this next full moon? What is it? And then it happened to be the Sagittarius full moon, and we had our retrogrades. I think Pluto was in retrograde around that time, and now we've got Mercury in retrograde. So yeah, you cry all the time too. I cry for laughing. I cry with oh, see, I don't cry often if I'm sad. I'm pretty resilient like that. But yeah, if you make me laugh, tears. That's why at the start of this video I was just like, don't cry. Don't cry. Do caps cry. You guys, when I was younger, I cried over everything. When I was younger, I was the kind of person who like, I would get angry, and instead of being able to yell, I would just cry, which is common. And then, I don't know, I think like a Capricorn who can't cry is a Capricorn who's had their heart broken. Let me tell you that, because once that happened, I became like a ice queen, and it took a lot of time to go back and unfreeze. Unbreak My Heart by Toni Braxton. Shout out to Jalissa Messages. I love how she sings that. But yeah, if a Capricorn doesn't cry, then they've had their heart broken. Oh, Amory, I'm definitely a Capricorn, yes. What does it mean when there's a Sag full moon and you have a Sag moon? See, it can mean one of two things. Either you have a lot of energy. I feel like either you would be very like, ooh, I'm feeling good. Or it would be like, I don't feel good. What's going on with me? Sometimes full moons can happen and pass and we don't feel anything. That's not the case with me though. I always feel them. I always pick up on their energy and I'm always a blubbering mess. So that's how I know. I'm like, oh, it's the full moon again. She's crying over TV again. That's how I know. Unbreak My Heart. Yes, that's how she sings. I love it so much. It brings me so much joy. I love it. Oh, something just passed. What about Pisces, Taurus, Pisces? Oh my days. Who is that poor soul? Pisces, Taurus, Pisces. You need to be protected, you need to be loved, you need to be sheltered, you need to have your freedom as well, but you also need someone there to be able to show their loyalty, just in case things mess up. You need an unbiased ear to be able to give you support, so that if you do mess up, you don't feel guilty for it and you don't share it with anybody because you feel guilty for it. I feel like poor Pisces, Taurus, Pisces, I don't even know what those placements are, but you need a lot of love, you need a lot of support is what I would feel, and that freedom to be able to express yourself as well without feeling confined. I feel like Pisces people are a lot more independent than they get the rap for. I have a baby sister who's a Piscean, and she's actually a very independent person, but because she is so because she has her little moments, people kind of look at that and go, oh, we need to protect her, and it's like, no, you just need to give her love and support so that when she does get into those moments, she feels comfortable and safe. But yeah, she's an independent powerhouse. She just forgets that sometimes. Triple Pisces, oh my days. Kane, are you serious? Triple Pisces. Does anybody else have triple? Like, is anybody else like you're an Aries, Virgo, Aries? Oh my days. That's wild. No water in my chart. Help. I have water in a few parts of my chart. I don't really listen. I forget the placements. You're a triple Virgo, Shay. Oh my gosh, triple Leo. Wow. Pisces times 3. Oh my gosh, double Virgo. Okay. I didn't realize this was possible. I mean, technically, Janae Aiko is really. Is she a triple Pisces? Wowzers. Oh, she needs to be protected, bless. But that explains her beautiful, soulful nature as well. I have all Cap in my outer planets. I have 7 Capricorn placements in my chart. It's difficult. We need to start a support group. Crazy. Triple Cancer. Big 3 is Earth, Water, and Air. Oh, wow. Yeah. Am I the same as you? No, I'm just Earth and Air. There's a little bit of chaos, yeah. But it also adds depth to your personality, if we can look at it from a positive spin. You wondered, Virgo Sun Moon. Oh, we got a lot of Virgo Suns here. Represent. I don't have a Discord, but I do have a Twitch. I just haven't streamed anything yet. I just created it last night, so we'll probably be vibing on there if you want to instead. Avatar, you have all 4 elements. Love that for you. You are the last airbender. Sell your decks on Amazon Prime. I need to look into that actually. You are bringing this idea to me for the first time in my whole life, so I need to look into that. Share your Twitch when you start streaming. I will. I'll make sure. Otherwise, it'll just be me talking to myself and Kirk. So I'll definitely share it. Oh, that's beautiful. You already followed? I feel like you've cemented me into this now. I definitely got to get on there. I've got to get some content up. We'll see. I'm going to buy my plant first, and then we will get my PlayStation 4. There's a shortage of PlayStations in Australia. The first store I went to yesterday was, I want to do an Instagram Q&A next week. I can't do it this week. I've got some family stuff going on, speaking of family. So I'll do that next week when this is all a little bit less serious. What were we saying though? Yeah, I want to get my plants first and then we'll get the PlayStation and then we'll start streaming. I don't know if I should stream my PlayStation though. We'll see. We'll see. We shall see. We got this ring light now, so the possibilities are limitless. What does it mean if you have no air in your chart? I don't think it's a bad thing. Like, that's just who you are. The air influences are, well, in terms of planets, we're looking at Uranus and Mercury. So Mercury is like your planet of stream the unboxing. That's clever. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. My Gemini rising. So Mercury is like the planet of communication, to put it bluntly. It can represent other things as well. It can represent technology. Uranus can also be a planet for technology though, because it represents the future as well. So we're looking at future technologies. When things happen under the age of Aquarius, for example, there are major technological advancements. So that's where we're in at the moment. So a lot of people are pretty excited. On an astrologer's point of view, we're expecting some pretty big advancements there. But yeah, I think that if you don't have air in your chart, it just means that there's more focus on the other placements. We don't really, I guess you can look at your chart as like a blueprint to your life, like a sort of like a way of identifying qualities you may have, but you still have your free will as well. So it doesn't mean that you're not logical or that you don't have an input when it comes to technology. It just means that there's other focuses. And these sorts of traits can be represented in other areas of astrology as well. So depending on where your third house is, for example, when it comes to community and communication, or if you had, what would another example be? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm just reading Elena Tully's. Yeah, so with the personal readings, Elena, why am I saying Elena? Elena. My Yeah, there's stuff up there, but I won't be able to do personal readings until later in June, so I'm probably not going to update that until it's closer. As soon as I update anything, everybody who's subscribed will get a notification, and a lot of people have subscribed now, so I want to make sure that when I do an update, it's significant and it's not me just sort of tweaking things and sending people a million emails. So once I'm closer to having personal readings, that's when I will be able to update it. Yes. Oh, you guys, I'm just reading some of the messages, and then I think I should probably go because I feel like I need to stretch my legs as well. Just compete. Oh, good on you. Somebody finished a 30-minute workout. Good on you. I want to do that this afternoon. How do we learn to trust our intuition? Can you see hexes? Oh, that's exciting. First of all, the intuition question. I feel like you don't need to necessarily put a lot of pressure on yourself. It's the kind of tricky situation where the more you try to focus on it, the harder it is to have it. Your intuition is a very subtle feeling, and it's not something that should be forced to happen. It's very instinctual. My trust for my intuition took a lot of practice, is what I want to tell you. It takes a lot of time in terms of learning your intuitive style as well. I know my intuition to be, if I'm in a high tense situation, it's a gut feeling. If I'm in a chill situation, which is most of the time now, I try not to put myself in stressful energies, then it's more of a subtle feeling. It's a little niggling feeling. It's like the prickling at the back of my neck, and it's just a subtle thought that's at the back of my mind. You have to kind of learn to trust it with practice and try to put more, I want to say, trust in it as well. So really like making a decision from your intuitive mind and committing to it as well. Learning to trust is really about time and patience. It's in general, let alone with your intuition. So it's something that you can't really force, and you've got to continually try to build as well. And even if you have a slip up, even if you make a mistake, you've got to give yourself time to grieve that mistake and understand you're only human. We all make mistakes, and it doesn't mean that you can't trust yourself. It doesn't mean that you have to give up on yourself. It doesn't mean you're a lost cause. So give yourself time to grieve that mistake so that you don't slip into a state of never trusting yourself again as well. Okay, you guys, I'm going to head out. I'm going to go. I'm going to drink this water that I've had sitting here. Thank you so much for tuning in. There will be an Instagram, not an Instagram live, but I'll be doing a Q&A on Instagram next week as well. And I will update you guys when I have my Twitch up and running too, whatever I'm doing on there. It's going to be streaming like this, I guess, but different setouts, probably at my computer, and I'll stream the unboxing of my PlayStation 4. That's going to be very different. So we're just going to be chilling over there, catching up, talking, connecting, getting this sort of business where we answer each other and communicate and connect with one another. So we'll see. I'll update you guys as soon as that's happening, and I'll update you about the personal readings as well. Thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate your time. Look after your beautiful self, and I'll see you in another video. Bye!